Welcome back to V.O.C. YouTube channel, NFL edition of the show. So, today I'm going to be talking about a team that's always very good, is always dominant, but we overlook them because there's new shiny objects, new shiny toys, new shiny players, new shiny teams that come into the NFL, and they kind of, we think, take over, but we forget about the steady team that is always there. So we're going to dive into that. Going to look at the draft order, top 10 as of right now, about over halfway through the season. And then this week's pick. So let's jump into it. Like I said, when you look at a team that has been dominant for a long time in the league, or quite a few years now, since one coach has got there, it's the Chiefs, right? The Bills lose last week in a heartbreaker, but that propels the Chiefs to the number one seed in the AFC. They're at 7-2 on the year. Look, they've become the new Patriots. When we look at them, every year they're good, and every year we overlook them and undervalue them. We go, oh, there's a team that's better, blah, 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 blah. No, there isn't a team that's better than them. Every year, in and out. They are the gold standard when you look at a football team for right now. Since 2016, the Chiefs are 72-25. They've won the AFC West every year in that span. They've won a Super Bowl, lost one, and they have played in the last 4 AFC Championship games. That is with Patrick Mahomes as the quarterback. So you look at it every year and every out. They made a move this offseason, get rid of Tyreek Hill. Hasn't hurt their offense at all. He's done exceptionally well with the Dolphins, but I even thought a little bit, well, where do the Chiefs go from this? Well, it hasn't hurt them at all. Look, Patrick Mahomes, almost 3,000 passing yards, 25 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Travis Kelce has just cemented himself as the best tight end in the league. 63 receptions, 740 yards, and 8 touchdowns. Give it 3 games, he'll have 1,000 yards on the year. That's just, we just get so used to them being good like we did with the Patriots. It's like, oh, they're there. We don't want them to be good, so we don't talk about them as much. And they end up still being the best team in the league. It's crazy to think. I mean, there's teams, the Eagles just lost their first game. The Vikings are good. You look at the Bills. You look at the Titans. We crowned the Bengals last year too, but it's like every year, you know what they're going to be. It's guaranteed that the Chiefs are going to be top 2 in the AFC at the end of the year. They're going to have home playoff games. And since Patrick Mahomes has been their starting quarterback, they're going to play in the AFC Championship game. That's just a guarantee that we can see with them. Andy Reid has also slept on as a coach, and that then turns course into his teams are slept on as a coach. You always get these new hot coaches, right? We want to crown everybody new. This is just the way we do it in society, where the new guy comes along and we like them more. It's recency bias, but you look at what Andy Reid's done over the last close to 25 years as a head coach in the NFL. He's been great. So he slept on, and then, like I said, his team has then slept on. But I think it's also interesting, you see history repeat itself. We looked at the Patriots and said, there's not going to be a team like them. Now, the Chiefs aren't the Patriots because they haven't won as many Super Bowls so far in the first few spans of the years, but they're pretty consistent with, what they're going to be. They're right there. They're going to be home playoff games. They're going to be top of the AFC, and they're always going to have a shot to win a Super Bowl every year. So when I look at Patrick Mahomes now, he's the new Tom Brady in the sense that you can't bet against him. If Mahomes is playing somebody in a game, until he's beat in that game, you always pick Patrick Mahomes. I think the Bills are going to win the Super Bowl. I still think the Bills are going to go to the Super Bowl. But I just wanted to focus on the Chiefs and how consistently they've been very good. And I think it's undervalued how good they have been. And it's been very interesting to see year in and year out, getting rid of pieces, getting rid of players on their team. They lose Tyrann Mathieu. They lose Tyreek Hill. They're still really good. And they're still going to win the AFC West. We looked at the AFC West and said, Chargers are really good with Herbert. Look at the Raiders. Look at the Broncos. Boom. These offensive stacked teams. Chiefs are still multiple games ahead of those teams. So it's just something I wanted to bring up because I do it myself where we overlook teams and then consistently there's still that team that's there. And, the gold standard right now is the Chiefs, in my opinion. All right, looking at the draft order now. About just over a little bit halfway point of the season. If you look at, I'm just going to break down the top 10, 1 through 10 as of right now, just to give a perspective of starting to think as the college season starts winding down, where we're going to look at these prospects and what teams some of these prospects might go to. Right now, the number 1 pick would be the Houston Texans, number 2 being the Raiders, 3 being the Panthers, 4 would be the Saints, but they traded their pick to the Eagles. So the Eagles are sitting at the top of the NFC, just lost their first game of the year, and they're, as of right now, have the 4th overall pick. That's great GM work. Great GM work. 5 was the Jacksonville Jaguars. 6 are the Bears, which I was glad that we lost to the Lions because we need talent. We need to lose games. We need to get top picks. We know what we have at quarterback. We have some pieces, but we need more talent. That's why I thought the Lions were kind of goofy to lose that, to win that game. To me, the Lions, you should be losing games just to get better talent because that's what you need. 7 would be the Broncos, but they traded that to the Seahawks in the Russell Wilson trade. 8 would be the Rams, but that is the Lions pick. That's where I think the Lions, but you're expecting the Rams to win a few more games. You're expecting them to get to about the middle tier of the first round. So still, if I'm the Lions, look, you could have 2 top 10 picks. Browns, 9 would be the Browns, but that was traded for Deshaun Watson. So right now the Texans have the 1st pick and the 9th pick. They're sitting up pretty well for a team that needs a lot of talent. And right now sitting at 10 is the Pittsburgh Steelers at 3 and 6. It's very interesting. This will fluctuate, but it'll be interesting to see if that tie is what ultimately is going to help the Texans keep the number 1 pick. Because if that's the case, watch out. Because they could have potentially 2 top 10 picks. Not saying that the Houston aren't going to mess it up because they have before, but it'll be interesting to see how it goes. And we could have 2 teams with 2 top 10 picks. If the Rams continue to lose and the Lions lose a few more games throughout the year, 2 teams with top 10 picks. I just wanted to bring it up, kind of talk about it, get the mind flowing of okay, as we watch these few final weeks of college football, where could these prospects go? All right, picks for this week. I was 3 and 4 last week, 36-30 on the year. I need to get a 5. I need to get a winning week. That's what I need. First game, Titans 6 and 3 at Packers, who are 4 and 6. Packers are a 3-point favorite. They just come off the win over the Cowboys. I like the Packers in this game just because I feel like the Packers are slowly figuring it out. And they're kind of a team too. It's they could be bad, but it's more than not, they make the playoffs. Eagles 8 and 1, -6.5 at the Colts, who are 4-5 and 1. The Fighting Jeff Saturdays. I brought up this game just because the Eagles lose their first game, play the worst they have all year. But now it's interesting to see the Colts want to run the ball. That's what the Commanders did. It'll be interesting to see how the Eagles bounce back. I like the Eagles, but this is a game to test how good the Eagles really are. All right, Jets 6 and 3 at Patriots 5 and 4. Patriots are a 3-point favorite. This is a weird one. I don't really know who to go with here. I'm going to go with the Patriots here. I'll go with the Patriots. Not too sold on this pick, but I'll go with the Patriots. I just feel like Belichick's going to have a plan for these Jets. Raiders 2 and 7 at Broncos 3 and 6 -2.5. For the Broncos, I put this game on here just because. Derek Carr's crying after the game with his emotional speech. We're talking about both coaches potentially could get fired. Both teams were supposed to be good, we thought, and they're horrible. I think the Broncos win it, so I don't think it's going to get any better for the Raiders. But if I'm the Raiders, at this point, you lose. You already seen what Derek Carr's gotten you over the past couple of years. You have a clause in his contract that you can get rid of him after this year. Top pick, draft a quarterback, let Josh McDaniels build a team that he wants to build. Cowboys 6 and 3. They're -1 point favorites at the Vikings. We're 8 and 1. I like the Vikings in this game. I don't know what it is about them, but they just win. And it could be because they have a new coach. And he's brought the new energy. And sometimes with teams that have talent, you bring in a new coach, they just play better that first year. But the Cowboys, look, you shouldn't have lost to the Packers. And I think you're going to lose this game. Bengals 5 and 4, -4.5 point favorites at the Steelers 3 and 6. Steelers are not good this year. I like the Bengals in this game. I said it weeks ago, probably close to a month ago. Is this Mike Tomlin's last year with the Steelers? It's slowly feeling like it is. Chiefs, we talked about, they're 7 and 2, -6.5 point favorites at the Chargers 5 and 4. I like the Chiefs here. The Chargers, look, they have a lot of injuries on offense. Justin Herbert's a very good player. but it just hasn't accumulated to wins with him yet. So it's interesting. It'll be interesting to see if they lose this game, which I think they will. What is the dialogue about Justin Herbert through this season? Because look, he's very talented. He gets a lot of praise, but after losing a game potentially to Patrick Mahomes, where do we look at him? All right, last game. 49ers are 5-4. They're an 8-point favorite. They play the Cardinals, who are 4-6. This game is in Mexico City, Monday Night Football. I don't know what it is about Jimmy Garoppolo. He didn't even throw a touchdown pass, still wins the game. He has a winning record without throwing a touchdown pass. I like the 49ers. I like their defense. I just like how they play. Kyle Shanahan's a great coach. If you give, this is why he went out and got Trey Lance, because it's like, you give me a dynamic quarterback that can do a whole lot, I could be that much better. They're finally healthy on offense. They're very good. And it's just to see how they will continue to grind out the year, because that's how they play. They grind out the year. So that's going to do it. Like I said, we overlook the Chiefs every year. Every year we overlook them, we undervalue them. And it's one of those things that I think we need to stop doing it, but it's going to continue to happen because of recency bias with everything. So that's going to do it for today's video. Thanks for watching.